no unclean thing. Let him then go around it and perform the rites therein, and so on. This will be a substitute for the pilgrimage. So they use that evidence to show that he was trying to change doctrine. Where did you get that doctrine? He said from Hassan al-Basra's book of, remember we talked about Hassan al-Basra, the free thinker and the philosophic development of thought in Islam. So he says he got it from Hassan al-Basra. So on. Anyway, further along. When Halaj saw what was going on, he cried out, "My blood must not be shed like this." They're going to condemn him. "You have no right to outlaw me over a quibble of this kind. My religion is Islam. My sect is the true way. There are books of mine maintaining the true way in bookstores. I abjure you in the name of God, do not shed my blood." Now he says, "Don't shed my blood." Okay, he's fairly changeable, but certainly not someone that I don't think we want to go and execute in a cruel manner. But that's what they did to people in the Middle Ages, both in Christianity and in Islam, as you see. Interestingly, his way, he preaches the way, the true way. The Dead Sea Scrolls have a lot about the way. And I wonder if there's not some material that's connecting all these things up that's floating around. I have no way to show that, but it just seems to me curious that these things keep on reappearing in these areas like this. Anyway, the whole excruciating trial is laid out here. It was agreed the chief of police would come after dark and bring a company of servants and men on mules, so that Allah should be set on a mule and huddled along the middle of the crowd. On the night before he was delivered up to execution. So it's finally they're going to execute. Allah stood up and performed the ordinary prayer of 2 bows, 2 rakas. After that he fell to repeating, "Illusion, illusion, illusion," to himself, and continued all night till the night was half spent. Then for a long while he remained silent. Suddenly he jumped up and cried, "Truth, truth!" He bound on his headdress and donned his clothes, stretched out his arms, faced into the direction of Mecca, fell into ecstasy and talked with God. Ibrahim Fatiq, his servant, and I were with him. Both remembered some parts of what he said. So they give his last speech here. "See," he said, "we are ready to be called as the witnesses and come forth refuge into thy grace, thy splendor, thy glory, thy brightness. Thy declaring of whatever thou pleasest in heaven, God on earth. God, O center of cycles, thou wilt come shining to the sight when thou on whom thou wilt, and as thou wilt even thou displays thy decree in the image of the fairest form of Adam." Mr. Perez, you see, there's the primal Adam idea there that all these sectarian groups had. That's why I'm convinced that there's connections. Adam, according to these pseudo-Clementine literature that we have in the Judeo-Christian sectarian tradition, comes and takes on new forms in different people in every generation. Jesus in Paul's, end of Paul's 1 Corinthians is called a second Adam. He said the first Adam was born of the dust. Paul says the second Adam is born of the Spirit, and so on and so forth. It's in 1 Corinthians 15. Anyway, this is going on all through here. It's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's in a lot of these movements, and here it is in, I'll make a note of it, second Adam here. So I'm convinced there's a connection. We don't have a lot to go on, but and I wouldn't be able to give you what the connection was, but still I think it's really interesting. Anyway, here's the execution. Didn't have enough? We'll give you the rest of it. When morning dawned, they came to fetch him to the square, page 103. And as we watched him go, this beautiful images here. Do I believe this? Yeah, I do. I think this is what happened. He was dancing in his chains. I believe that's absolutely true. And the crowd gathered, and the day they executed the lodge, they brought him from his cell, bound and chained, but he was laughing. And said, "What's wrong with you?" the executioner says. And he gives him a verse, I guess, and it has this cup imagery, Mr. Parrott here. He passed me his cup and bade me drink, and I drank it. So anyway, they brought him as far as the scaffold and the nails, and he laughed till tears ran from his eyes. And presently turning to the crowd, he saw Shibli, one of his disciples there. Abu Bakr, have you your prayer? Obviously his name is Abu Bakr. Have you your prayer rug with you? Yes, said Shibli. Will you lay it for me? And Shibli put out his carpet and allowed to perform the prayer of 2 rakas, reciting, we shall try you, and then all souls shall taste death in the second. And I can't remember some of his words, but they were as follows. O our God, who dost glow in the places and art not in thy place, I beseech thee by the truth of thy word, which declares that I am, by the truth of this is my word, which declares that thou art. I beseech thee, my master, give me grace to be grateful for the happiness of thy giving, that thou didst hide from others what thou unveiled to me, the raging fires of thy face, and forbid them to look as I have permitted to look into things hidden in the mystery of thee. I told you about the face, Moses talking to God face to face, the light on the face. I think it's all through here. And these, thy servants are gathered to slay me in zeal of their religion, longing to win their favor. Forgive them, like Jesus on the cross. Forgive them, they don't know what they do. Have mercy on them. Surely if thou had shown them what thou hast shown me, they would have never done what they are doing. And hadst thou kept from me what thou hast kept from them, I should not have suffered this tribulation. Whatsoever thou wilt do, I praise thee. Whatsoever thou wilt do, I praise thee. Well, he's a totally religious person, however he expressed it. There was silence. The headsman stepped up and dealt him a smashing blow between the eyes. The blood poured from his nostrils. Shibli cried out and rent his dress. The headsman was ordered to administer 1,000 strokes with a scourge. This is the New Testament. It was done. Allah uttered no cry. He didn't please for pardon. Only according to one witness, when he endured the 600th blow, he cried to the chief of police, send for me, and I'll tell you what will more profit the caliph than the storming of Istanbul, Constantinople. We expected such an offer, said Nazub, the chief of police. It won't get you out of this scourging. And after that, Allah said nothing more till the 1,000th blow came at last. His hand was amputated, then his foot. He was fastened on the cross or the scaffold. He hung there till nightfall, when an order arrived from the Caliph Muqtadir to give permission for his beheading. However, the offer in charge was late, and he said, leave it till tomorrow morning. So I left him there all night like this. When morning came, he was taken down, dragged forward for decapitation. It was at this time he spoke his last words. All who have known ecstasy long for this. The loneliness of the only one, alone with the alone. And then he was a little way from the front of the scaffold. His head was struck off. His